Lots of people in our world today are dealing with feelings of shame, they deal with feelings of insecurity, uncertainty, embarrassment, insignificance, unimportance, and the list just goes on and on and on. And many times they think that the solution for this is money. The truth is, money has a way of boosting your confidence, but the root cause of this thing is low self-esteem. And in this video, I want to share 10 signs that reveal that you're dealing with low self-esteem. Let us flog this thing out of your destiny once and for all. I suffered from low self-esteem for many years, and I did not even realize it because this thing is so bad that it hides itself. It makes you feel like you need more money. It makes you feel like you need more clothing. It makes you feel like you need more prestige, you need influence, you need more fame, and all of those things. But no, that's really not the idea. A lot of people today are embarrassed about how they look. They're embarrassed about how much they earn. They are embarrassed about where they live. They're embarrassed about even where they come from. And it's really not funny because most of the prayer points that we pray in church or in our closet stem from a place of low self-esteem. Some people are praying so they can have more money. It's not really that they need more money. Yeah, maybe they need more money, but sometimes it comes from a place of envy. They want to prove a point, they want to show off. Sometimes, more often than not, they might even add, oh, Jesus did it. They will usually associate it with a testimony. It comes as a testimony, or that Jesus did it something. But if you check, if you investigate, it's a problem of low self-esteem. One look at your neighbor and you want to have the car that your neighbor is driving. You're questioning why you haven't driven that car. You're questioning why you have not bought the house. So check yourself. That prayer point you're making, are you sure it's because you know you sincerely need it, or because you feel envious of your neighbor? So that's, by the way, I want to share, we're going to be talking about 10 signs that reveal that you're dealing with low self-esteem. Number one on my list is that you feel insecure and uncertain. If you notice instability in the kind of decisions that you make, you have to watch it, because that's one great sign that reveals that you're not really confident in your own voice. God gave you a voice. Stop hiding it. You're not confident enough to say the truth. You're not confident enough to stand for something or to have your own values. You're here today, you're there tomorrow. My darling, it's a big sign that you're dealing with low self-esteem. And it's many of us, there's a book in your heart you need to write. You cannot write it because you're thinking, will it be accepted? Will it not be accepted? Write that book, take that course. The reason why it happens that way, because sometimes you're afraid of rejection, you're scared of criticism, you're scared of receiving no's. It's a normal thing to be rejected, and it's a normal thing to be criticized. If you normalize these things, you don't have to be among, you don't have to be in the number. It's okay to stand alone. And a lot of people who deal with these things, it's the fear of rejection, the fear of being criticized. You might not have up to 1 million followers. If you know this is the truth, stand for that truth. If you know this is the wrong way, run away from it, hide from it, and just do you. Like, do you in the very, very rightful way. And if you make a mistake, so what? Get up. Don't be ashamed to accept responsibility. In fact, it's a big sign of maturity if you are one person who stands up to the task of fail and stand up again and keep moving. After all, the Bible lets us know that a righteous man falls 7 times and he gets back up 7 times. So do not be afraid to fall. Make that mistake, make that error, but get up and learn from the mistake and keep moving. Such people like this, they don't go far because the feeling that you do not measure up will keep haunting you. You need to let go of this feeling. But does it happen overnight? No, it doesn't happen overnight. And I'll come back to that later on. The second sign is that you feel unimportant and insignificant. Lots of people tend to tie their relevance to wealth, significance, fame, money, power, people, and what have you. And the truth is that money has a way of giving you confidence. Like, it's undeniable. Money can give you confidence. Your influence can give you power. Your influence can give you ease. Your influence can make room for you in places where other people will find difficulty going there. But the question I'll always ask today is, in the absence of all of these things, would you still maintain the same confidence? Would you still maintain the same energy? That's one way to know that And this is why when a lot of people lose their money, or have when people have lost their money, or they have filed for bankruptcy, they tend to hide, because the thing that gave them that confidence to stand tall in the midst of people, the thing that gave them that confidence to say whatever they wanted to say, is now gone. And this is why you must not tie your relevance to material things. You must not tie your relevance to external factors. It has to come from the inside. It's an, having self-worth, or having self-confidence, or having a high level of self-esteem comes from the inside. If you make it, if it falls to the external values around you, it's very likely to not last long. People will naturally honor people. That's the basic truth in our world today. And this is why people are ready to give tips. People even give tips out of maybe ego and all of those things. It's not like they want to give you a tip, but they just want to give you a tip to stamp an authority and all of those things. So, and you should not see, there is no need to want to prove a point or make yourself feel special, because these same people who would give you all the honor and adulation and all of those things because of the money you can bring to the table will be the same ones who scoff at you when these things are gone. So why try to prove a point? Why try to make a name for yourself with what you have? Let your and One thing I really do not like is that some people have better yesterdays. It's very painful to have a better yesterday when everything you're saying is, oh, when I used to, when we should have, our tomorrow should be greater. Like, your tomorrow should be greater, and your tomorrow would only be greater if you have value to give. So that even when you lose something, or when something dies down, there is still something that is valuable. You still have value to give to your world. There is still value to give to your generation. So instead of chasing these extrinsic factors like materialism, fame, power, influence, and all of those things, pursue value. And when you have value, it's something that is in you. You can always, they can wake you up from your sleep and say, tell us XYZ. And because it's already there, you can always give these things out freely. So pursue value. Stop thinking that you don't have value. The reason why you think you're not valuable, because you're comparing yourself to that person that is multi-talented. See, guys, I'm not a multi-talented person. I know what I can do. Every other skill I have today, I had to learn them. I believe that any skill is learnable. If somebody can fly an airplane, I believe I can learn it. If somebody can cook, I know I can learn it. My cooking skill is top notch, and I learned all these things after I got married. I remember the first akara I made. It's not something I can I couldn't even eat my own akara. So every skill is learnable. But the moment you begin to compare yourself to another person, it will make you feel on you would struggle to accept yourself. So stop comparing yourself. Embrace your skill. Embrace those things you think are inadequate. Embrace those things you think are fallouts. Make do with what you have and be open to learning every day. Commit yourself to learning every day, because one thing about very, very confident people and people that place a lot of value in themselves is because of the mind-blowing knowledge they have. This is why when you see people who are multi-talented and they are making waves with all their talent, these people tend to stand out. These kind of people tend to have high value of themselves, because there's value they are giving, and they are doing it pretty well, and there's a high reward. They are getting the reward from this thing. So the trick is not in cashing out. The simple trick is in embracing yourself. The third sign on my list is that you feel stressed and anxious. What's the need to feel stressed about? Like, there is no need to rush through life. A lot of us are rushing through life because we feel that we are lagging. We feel that we need to meet up. We feel that our mates have gone ahead of us. Relax, relax. Take one step at a time. I listened to a podcast by Ezine Zara. I think the Light Show featured her in that podcast, and she made a statement. She said, if you struggle to become a millionaire or a billionaire in your 20s, what will you be doing in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 60s? Like, what will you be doing? How about you take it slowly? And then that thing made a lot of sense, because I felt, why am I rushing? Why am I feeling like I'm lagging behind? When you focus so much on what you can see outside externally, you would forget about your inner self. It's not about the world. Remember, it's not you against the world. It's you against your past. So you have to look inward on how you can grow. Think about how you can grow personally. Forget about the glam you can see outside, and think about what you can grow. What now talking about growth, a lot of people do not realize that growth comes from a place of consistency and discipline. Consistency, discipline, and diligence. You start something today, tomorrow you're struggling. Like I shared in one of my videos how to live a life of productivity. You don't have to rush. The simple thing, the best thing to do is to create goals. And after creating goals, create to-do lists. It's in creating to-do list that you can help yourself live disciplined, because a to-do list puts you under pressure to do what you're supposed to do. And a to-do list is simple. It's quite very simple. Just map out your list. Taking a nap today, studying the word of God today, creating samples. It's always very easy to create a to-do list. Create a to-do list, follow through one after the other, and discipline yourself to try following a to-do list for 1 week and come back and share the good news about how you feel. And when you do this, you realize that you're growing personally. And when you grow personally, of course, the world will hear it. So don't rush. The fourth sign on my list is lack of purpose and meaning. And a lot of people are on this phase. I was on this phase for so many years. A lot of people are just living. They just want to get a job that they can make money and just live above average. And it's not the amount of money you make that can make you live above average. Again, money can give you confidence, it can boost your confidence, but it might not give you that satisfaction that you desire. It might not give you that sense of purpose that your spirit is craving. And this is why you must do everything you can to look inwardly, to know what it is that you would find fulfilling. For starters, think about what you're doing now. Are you doing something IT related? Are you a writer? Are you a singer? Do you love cooking? Do you love baking? Is that what you're doing now? 10 years from now, will you be happy doing the same thing? It's a way to question yourself if that thing you're doing will give you satisfaction. For a huge part of my life, I was a freelance writer, but I did not kind of find satisfaction in it because I did not really know where I was going. I was doing a lot of writing projects. If you call me to do a blog, I'll do it. If you call me to do branding, I could do a lot of things under writing, but I did not quite find satisfaction. And the reason I did not find satisfaction was because I did not niche down. I was doing basically everything. And that is the issue with a lot of people. And this is why I cannot give you that advice to pursue purpose. No. Some points in my life, I just stopped pursuing purpose and I pursued God. Pursue God instead. It is when you pursue God that you see yourself clearer. The clearer you see God, the more you see God, or the brighter you see God, the clearer you see yourself. Why is that so? And it's because we all are created in the image of God. Everybody here on earth exhibits different dimensions of God. So it may be cooking, it may be baking, it may be anything. But when you find God, you tend to find yourself more clearly and better even. So yeah, instead of pursuing purpose or pursuing meaning, just pursue God. And you'll find those hidden answers you've been craving. The fifth sign on my list is that you feel self-conscious and embarrassed. The world is not going to rate you because of how you dress or how you look. The kind of people that will rate you based on your dressing, they are not the kind of people that can spoil you into becoming the biggest thing. I can tell you for a fact. Because a lot of people are embarrassed because of the things they do. I remember during the COVID era, and I was asking somebody who was a teacher. I heard he was selling pomo, dried dried meat, and then he had to reiterate that he was just selling it because of the COVID. He needed to survive, and I told him, there is no shame in whatever you're doing. As far as it's a legit business, it's bringing money on your table, be proud of it. Like, you do not have to feel too self-conscious and embarrassed about what you're doing. Why do you have to dress all glam to go get groceries? Because you feel you're going to a big man area and then you need to glam up to get groceries, to get toothpaste. I'm not saying do not dress well, but it's really unnecessary if you have to do it because you want to be rated by the society. The society does not care about you. If people are going to leech on you, it's because of what they want to get from you. These people are like rats. If a rat infects your house, you know what a rat does? It bites things in bits. A rat cannot eat biscuits completely. A rat cannot take a snack completely. It will always take it in bits, 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 bits. Those kind of people that leech on you because of what you have, what you carry, they are pests. They are pests. Stop feeling so self-conscious because you want to be rated, because you want to be accepted. Be yourself, be you, but give into self-improvement, give into growth, personal development, give into personal development, give into growth. And very soon, who knows, you might be the next big thing. I remember one time when I sensed that the Holy Spirit was asking me to go and sell tiger nut. This was about 2 years ago, and I felt very embarrassed. I felt horrible because I felt with my degree, my level of education, going to sell tiger nuts, not that I was going to have a walking shop, or I was going to be offering, I was going to be selling to supermarket. I was going to hawk it. I was going to hawk it, and I felt so embarrassed. But you know that everything I learned in that phase, it was not for a long time. My family was not dying. We're not sick, we're not dying, we're not poor. But I realized that those lessons I learned in those few weeks, there was no way I could have learned them in a classroom. Don't be embarrassed about what you do. Don't be so self-conscious. Don't try to fine-tune your job description to feel rated and all of those things. So I don't want this video to be so long, so I'm going to do this in a part 2 series, and hopefully I'm going to talk about how to overcome low self-esteem. In all these signs that I mentioned, could you relate to any of them? If the answer is yes, please share with me in the comment section. Until then, see you in my next video. Bye for now.